David said in Psalm 34, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Come on, you know the scripture. Lift it up, say it. No matter what you're going through, get a praise down in your soul. Come on, let's rejoice together. Say, Jesus, I bless and praise your name. How long will we do it, warriors? Come on, let's say it one more time. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within. Come on, we're blessing the Lord tonight. Jesus, I bless. Say, our God is merciful. And gracious, slow to anger. I'll forever, forevermore. Psalm 103 declares, bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and forget not all of his benefits. Hey, bless. I've got to bless your name. You've been good to me, so I got to bless your name. You're worthy of all of the praise and all of the glory and all of the honor. I will. And when I wake up in the morning, all throughout my day, late in the midnight hour, no money in my pocket, no food on the table, with sickness in my body, I will. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the same, he's worthy. He's worthy. Oh, I gotta bless. Even when I don't feel like it, God is still worthy of the glory. He's still worthy. Come on, help us declare it. Jesus, I bless and praise your name. And we're going to bless your name forever. Jesus, I bless forevermore. Hallelujah. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. You are live with Reverend Bruce Jr. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. Tonight is the kickoff and the lunch for the new Live with Reverend Bruce Jr. Come on and give yourselves a hand for being on with us tonight. I am so happy to have you all with us. Come on, right now, tag, share, and like this broadcast. It's going down tonight. I've got some wonderful guests waiting in the wing to come and talk to us. Tonight's topic is back to school. We're in August. Many students here in Alabama have gone back to school now. Some have been back in school. The colleges are starting back. My college starts back in a couple of weeks. So it's that season. It's that time. Please comment. Tell us where you are from. It's going down right now. Did y'all like that intro? Throw up some hearts if you like my intro. I got a long one. That was a long one. And I've got a short one. But I'm going to introduce our wonderful guest to you tonight. We're going to start with Dr. Adrian Ford from Georgia. Hello. Welcome, Dr. Ford.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
How are you today?
I am well. I am glad to be here on this podcast with you, Reverend Bruce.
All right. I'm excited to have you. All right, our next wonderful guest is none other than one of my former students who is in college now, Miss Nyla Bowler. Sorry, you can't see her, but she's on with us via audio. Nyla, tell us hello.
Everybody, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you, Nyla?
I'm doing great. Can't complain.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Our next guest is also via audio with us tonight, and that is Mr. Javaris Williams. Javaris, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, awesome. Welcome to Live with Reverend Bruce Jr. All right, and next up, I am going to add, I can't see them. There we go. Ms. Walker. Ms. Walker, welcome. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. So it's 6 people on the live stream. Go ahead and comment. Share this live stream with your family, with your friends. We want to increase our audience on tonight. So we're only broadcasting on YouTube for this new show. It will not be live on Facebook. So you can tag this broadcast on your Facebook page, which will draw people to our YouTube streaming channel, which is Reverend Bruce Jr. But we're going to dig right in here. So we have 3 educators on, technically 4, and then we have 2 college students on, and some other people may be joining us a little bit later. So I want to dive in with our college students first. I know Nyla's at a family dinner, so she's going to have to tip out in a moment. But Nyla, give us a little background, your educational journey, where you graduated from, and where you are now.
Well, so just reintroduced to Nyla Bowler, and I graduated class of 1 from the Woodland High School, Colonels. Um, After graduation, I attend Boston College now, and I major in nursing with a minor in social impact.
All right. And so, Nyla, you were a part of the early college program. How did that affect you upon graduation?
So yeah, I was a part of early college. Early college, just to say, was one of the best programs I ever participated in. And early college, it gave me an opportunity to earn up to credits within within college and stuff. So I graduated with 75 credits. So I entered college as a junior.
That is amazing, Nyla. Do y'all hear that? So, parents, if you're listening, early college is a great program. Nyla graduated with over 70 college credits and came into Boston College as a junior. That is phenomenal. Nyla was one of my first students when I started teaching at Woodlawn. So I am proud to say that I know Nyla personally, her whole family. They're just a wonderful group of people. So shout out to your parents, Nyla, for raising such a phenomenal daughter, and all of your siblings. All of your siblings are wonderful. So Nyla, how has the college experience been for you, especially going from Birmingham to Boston? That is like a stretch.
The college experience has been very unique in a good way. I feel like leaving Birmingham was one of the best decisions I ever made because it showed me, it allowed me to get out of my comfort zone and meet different people from all walks of life. And also learn that, you go to college to learn, but it's also the people you interact with that teach you so much more about yourself and also like who you're capable of being. So,
Okay.
uh,
And you recently just did a study abroad, did you not?
yes, sir.
And so where did you go? Tell us about that.
So, I just got back from Israel. I went there for a month to do a study abroad program for my minor, social impact. So we learned about the different businesses and how they operate, and also like helping them with going to market strategies. So the companies we work with, they're using like the business plans we made for them and how to penetrate the U.S. market into their products and stuff. So that was very fun. I feel like once in a lifetime experience for me personally. Never thought I'd be doing that.
Well, I'm excited for you, Nyla. This seems to be a wonderful journey from high school, early college, going into college. as a junior, and then doing study abroad and going all the way to Israel. That is phenomenal. So Nala, I look forward to seeing more great things from you. So tell us lastly, because I know you got to go. Back in high school, what is something that you remember that you took away from Woodlawn that you still carry with you?
I feel like the biggest thing I took away from Woodlawn was community. I feel like the support I received from my teachers, my peers, administration was such a big has had such a big impact on like why I went off to school and also the things like I plan on bringing back once I do graduate.
Okay.
So they teach you more about like no matter where you go, community, home, that's where your heart is. So to be able to bring back whatever I learned from wherever I go, and to just build my community and make high school better for my younger brothers and sisters who are going through their journeys right now, or like different peers I play sports with and stuff. So
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in, Nala, and thank you for sharing that experience with us. And we like I said, look forward to seeing more great things coming from you, and hopefully we can get you on another show really, really soon.
thank you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna jump to Mrs. Walker now. So Mrs. Walker, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and your connection into education.
I'm Tamara Walker. I'm an eighth grade inclusion teacher at Jasper High School. And Jasper is in Walker County, for those of you who are not familiar with the area. I'm going into my 11th year teaching. I've always been in the collaborative area. I started out at a middle school, sixth grade, and then our system went through a sort of a reconfiguration, and I moved over into fourth grade. But then it opened up for me to go back up to the bigger grades. I prefer the bigger grades, secondary. So now I'm in eighth grade. I've been doing eighth grade inclusion for this is my fourth year.
Okay.
Yeah. I have an alternative master's degree,
Okay.
University of Alabama at Birmingham. Um, and then I also have, I recently got my master's degree for counseling. I want to venture into counseling. I feel like as special education teacher, I do mostly counseling anyway with my students. So that's my next area that I want to venture into.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Dr. Ford.
Hello, everyone. I'm Adrian Ford. I am a former middle school band director. Um, yes, here in Atlanta, Georgia, I served as the band director for King Middle School for a few years. And prior to that, I was an orchestra teacher in middle school. So my background is instrumental music. Let's see. Currently, I am the director of music and worship at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, as well as a new faculty member for Morris Brown College. Thus, I'm wearing paraphernalia. So I am, I guess you would consider it the adjunct professor of piano and church music at Morris Brown College, which is a new program that has been developed under our current leadership with President James and Dr. Plenty, who is our chair of music. And we're excited. I'm very excited to be teaching at the collegiate level, and I happen to be blessed to be teaching at my alma mater. So I'm excited. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. I have one more person that I'm about to add on. I have an educator. She's joining us all the way from Chicago via audio stream. This is Miss Lucinda. Welcome, Lucinda. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do in education and your educational journey.
I am a middle school teacher, middle school science teacher. I've been doing that now for about 10 years. Prior to that, I did teach in the intermediate level. Currently, I still do work with my middle school students teaching science and math, as well as I am what they consider a team lead and a teacher leader for my school. So I work with the entire school staff and I mentor some of the younger teachers.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, and then Mr. Williams, come back in and give us a little bit more about your educational journey and what you're currently doing.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Javaris Williams. Currently, I attend Lawson State Community College,
Whoop, whoop.
pursuing pursuing my associates in early childhood education, and it's my plan to further my education with pursuing my bachelor's in the same. Currently,
Awesome.
I work for La Petite Academy, and I
Okay.
am a lead teacher for the age group 18 months to 2.5 years. So, just a little bit about my educational background. I did attend Jeff State College for a period of time, but it really wasn't a fit for me. So I took some time off to actually, just work. And then I just, found a passion to go back to school. And so this is where I am.
Okay. Awesome. 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 Okay, everyone that's tuned in via YouTube. Let's see here. We've got Sister Rachel. Hello, Rachel. I have a student, Stephen, that told me he's watching. We have Daniel Washington that's watching from Birmingham, and we have Tracy Williams that's tuned in from Tuscaloosa. Welcome, everybody. Share this live. Send it to your friends. Let them know that we are talking about education tonight. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to give my panelists a chance to think about the question that I'm going to ask. So while they're thinking about it, I'm going to show you a quick little video that's going to be our commercial break. But the question I want to ask you all, based off of Nyla's experience, being a part of the early college program, graduating with over 70 college credits, and starting college as a junior at 18 years old and now doing study abroad. Talk about how, if you're a parent, how that affects you as a parent to think about the future of our children and the possibilities that open for them. And then, of course, Dr. Ford, with you being in the collegiate realm, talk about how you see that benefits the college programs with students coming in, either the good side or the negative side of a student that comes in with 70 college credits already as a freshman. And so think about that. Hello, Landon. Landon just said he's tuning in. So I'm going to present this video to us, and then we are going to.
Our future, teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind them how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone to fulfill my needs. A lonely place to be. And so
So of course that's a little shameless plug. Um, how do I get rid of it, Jesus? There we go. All right. So most of our videos will be some kind of school related video. That was me singing at Woodlawn's graduation 2 years ago. Wow, time has flown to think that's been 2 commencements ago now. So the question that I asked on the table. So Lucinda, you're a parent. Ms. Walker, you're a parent as well as educator. Dr. Ford, from the collegiate perspective, and then Javaris. So who wants to go first on the question regarding Nyla?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think that is so great that she entered into that program, was able to get that many credits, and to be able to enter college as a junior right out of high school. I'm kind of, as a parent, I have firsthand knowledge of that. I have an older son that's 25 now, and my daughter is currently she just started the 10th grade. So when my son was in high school, he took honors classes and AP classes. And the AP classes are at the end of those terms, they're comprehensive. So if you're not remembering or learning as much as you're supposed to, and you don't do as well as you're supposed to on those exams, it's kind of like you took that class for naught, because if you pass the comprehensive exam, then you receive those credits, and you could potentially not take that class in college. A couple of classes he took, he did well on. He was able to get those credits when he was going in, when he graduated. But a couple of classes, he did not do so well on. And so it was almost as if it was like, what was the point? But my daughter, I took that as a learning lesson. My daughter, who's also in honors classes, we are going the dual enrollment route, which Nala went. And so she will start in the spring term, taking 2 classes at our local community college. And those classes will actually count towards her graduation credits. And it will also, like Nala, give her those college credits that she needs upon her entrance of college. So when she goes to college, she'll kind of be like, Nala, I don't know if we'll have 75. That is very impressive. Um, but she will have an established college career in her back pocket.
Okay.
I can also say I have a couple of new co-workers this year who ended up graduating early because they took advantage of the dual enrollment process as well. So I think it's a great opportunity. It saves you money in the long run, and it speeds up your ability to begin your career quicker than you normally would.
I wish I was outgoing when I was in high school. I had so many friends who did AP and dual enrollment, and I had the wit to do it. I had the smarts to do it, but I had other plans. And so I remember telling my friends, once honors rolled over to AP, that was it for me. So my senior year, especially, I just did something to get out of high school. I took home ec, parenting, like things that I knew I could just make an A in. And it wasn't because I wasn't smart enough to do the AP. I just did not challenge myself. And in the long run, I really hate that I did not take advantage of those programs. Thank God I still graduated on time with my bachelor's in 4 years, because some of my friends did not make it out in 4 years. Some made it in 7, some made it in 10 plus, but however they made it out, praise God. So why do I say that? Because it's not about how short or how long it takes you to finish your degree. I want to encourage everyone just to finish
Absolutely.
their degree. Whether you started it 20 years ago, my mother, she's a scholarship recipient this year from the scholarship that my choir gave out. And I'm so proud because she's going to kill me for saying this, but my mom is 61, 62, somewhere around there. And she's going back to get her bachelor's degree. And so she's about to graduate at the end of this academic year with her bachelor's in business administration. You know, so it's never too late to finish what you started. And so that's my encouragement to everyone. Let's see, let me read some of these comments. Rachel says, yes, I ended up in dual enrollment and it made a big difference for my college career. All right. Double back. Daniel and Landon talking about I better hit those high notes. I'm sick of y'all. Let's see. All right, we're going to add someone else to the stream. Let's welcome my Chicago godmother, Tamisha Kimbrough.
Hello, everybody.
So let's see. We've got Walker County, which is the northern part of Alabama. We've got Georgia on the live stream tonight, and we got Chicago on the live stream tonight. You just never know where the guests are coming from, Reverend Bruce's show. So thank you all for tuning in with us. And y'all will hear me call her mother because that's my nickname for her. This is not my birth mother, but she is like a play mother to me. So, mother, tell us about your journey with education as a parent. All of your children and where they're stacked in school.
I have 3 biological, and I have a gang of other children. But I have a college student, I have a junior, and I have a sophomore. I feel like the Chicago system is somewhat okay. It could be better. I appreciate some of the teachers that do go above and beyond to push and pour into the students. I do appreciate the teachers that my daughter and my son have. They call, they pour when they see things in them that, well, I know this is your kid can do better and all this. So I've had good experiences thus far by God's grace. So I also feel like it, like as we've been taught, it starts at home. So whatever you teach your children at home, they also take it with them to school. So it plays a role definitely in the school system. So we can't always blame the teachers because again, it starts at home. What you allow at home will be allowed in the school because that's how they will act out in the school.
Okay. So that's gonna shift our conversation just a wee bit, because I want to go here. You mentioned that it starts at home, and Lucinda and I have had this conversation before about it starting at home. Do you think you can start too far at home in terms of education? Because I know there are certain students like myself, when it came to math, I excelled at math. I remember in 6th grade, we had these workbooks that was supposed to last from August to December. And by the time September rolled around, I was done. I had done all of the books. And so, because my 6th grade math teacher couldn't think of creative ways to challenge me with math, she just made me the in class tutor. And so, my peers who weren't catching things as quickly, because we got to stop calling people slow and other terms because everybody does not learn at the same speed. But my friends who did not catch on quickly, she kind of made me their in class tutor, which was still boring for me. And thank God I was not one of those children that acted out when they were bored. Um, but she just couldn't let me sit there and not do anything for the next 4 months. So, Lucinda, let's talk about that. Do you think um, that parents can start their children too far at home where they get to school and they already know so much and the teachers are having a hard time trying to pull them in?
I don't know if I would say they can start them too far. Being a teacher and a parent with a with myself graduating early at 16, my oldest daughter is getting ready to graduate early. Um, as a teacher, I guess I find myself having to dig deeper to find ways to push children, and I do know that's not everyone's strength. Um, so I don't know if I can necessarily say they starting too far, but I do. Education is important, and it does start at home because there's some basic things that necessarily have to be taught at home. So even here in the Chicago system, children don't have to attend school until 7 years old. So if we're just
Whoa.
starting them off trying to read or getting basic phonetics at 7, you're already behind the mark. So I guess looking at it through the lens of what's required here in this school system, that's why I
Okay.
would say no, you can't start them off too far. Um, but then that does put a challenge on the teacher for that child that is ahead and they're a little bit further ahead than everyone else. You have to find those creative ways. And so it is a balance, I guess I would say. You have to find that balance.
And so that's an interesting thing for Dr. Ford and I, as being collegiate professors, I know for me, hearing that they don't have to start school until they're 7, and that is like a eye opener for me, because on the collegiate level, and I'm not sure, Dr. Ford, I'm sure you've experienced this, that some of our newer generation college students have trouble with reading, have trouble with writing. And these are things that when I was getting ready to go off to school, because I believe I'm the youngest on the live tonight, that was just kind of like told to us, when you go to college, you're gonna have to write and do different things. But it seems like the expectation level has shifted. And I know part of that is due to the pandemic, but we can't blame COVID for every challenge that we have in education now. So, Dr. Ford, what do you think? Where do you stand with that?
Wow. I guess you just kind of handed me the loaded gun. That is interesting. Um, I'll put it like this. Let me share a story. Um, so when I was an undergraduate, probably the first time, um, it was difficult because I did not have the tightened writing skills that was expected of a freshman student coming into an HBCU or just a college in general. So my undergraduate teachers, understood uh, the dynamics of my academic backgrounds as well as my economic status, and and the different things. They understood the community I came from, and they focused on the strengths that I did have, which were in the area of music, and they were able to meet me where I was and able to gently pull me forward academically, working with me, sending me to tutoring laboratories, different kind of things like that. um, I'll say this is that there are much more resources available to students entering college, those students who are in high school. Tutoring, mandatory tutoring. I remember that was a big deal for our school and school district, that teachers were required to stay 1 hour twice a week for mandatory tutoring in your content area. And if you didn't have a testable subject area, you would assist the core teachers. You would go into the English class and help Miss So and So or Dr. So and So, help them with their classes. So as a college teacher now, I have to think about where I was when I was their age. What skills are they coming in with? What abilities? What are their strengths? What can I, capitalize on? Because my goal is, we need college students, to remain as college teachers. Let's just be real about it. We want students, in our programs, and we have to find ways to meet them academically, right? I can't drop the hammer because they don't know how to write an APA style or Turabian format or those kind of things, right? I swore up and down my teachers in grad school and post grad all had a second PhD in English and rhetoric because they ate us alive in our papers. Ate us alive in our papers. But we thank God for Grammarly. Hallelujah. So, but the point I'm making is that when we have new students coming in and students that are coming in that are not as prepared as we expect them to be with the current resources that are available to them, then we have to modify our structure of our class and basically meet them where they are. I don't know if I get in trouble for saying this, but in some sense, we have to, do modified educational plans. We have to treat it as if the child has an IEP, which a lot of the accommodations and modifications to teaching are a little different when you get to college, right? There's FERPA and all of these different, law regulations that prohibit me from talking to a Miss Walker about her daughter or about her son, or she can't call up and say, well, Dr. Ford, why is my daughter Tamika struggling in your class? Why does she have a C on her transcript for midterm? And I'd be like, well, legally I can't talk with you unless she states that I can legally speak to you about her grades, because she is an adult on record at the time. But the point I'm making, I'm sorry to run on, I do apologize, is that when we deal with students in college, it's a little different. We have expectations, but we modify those expectations based on the student's academic ability, the resources that we have available in the college, and the opportunity and time we have to avail ourselves to our students to be able to help them succeed. Now, I'm from a practical background and perspective. I chose to do the EDD versus a PhD because I'm hands-on, applicable. We apply this knowledge immediately, not just theoretical. So my students all have to do musical things such as like play the piano or sing or do music theory and those kind of things are practical, because those skills and that knowledge is applicable to any musical job that you have now. It's wonderful to have talent and the ability to do things. But what happens is that if you really want the check, you got to have the skills, because my auntie, God rest the dead, would say, people will pay you for what you know. For God's sakes, know something to get paid for, end quote. So that's my take on higher education. To answer, I do apologize, Reverend Bruce, if I could answer that question about the young lady who got into the program. Okay, so I was looking at it. It's never a bad thing for a student to advance beyond the system. I'll put it like this: they're coming in with 2 years academic courses completed. They've most likely done all of their general requirements. The core A, B, C, and D. All of those are done. So all they have to do is focus on their major area or their major. And so if the person came in as a an English major or a sociology major or business major, a lot of the classes and courses that they're taking would already be covered in their general electives and studies for that portion. So they'll be literally going into the junior year of straight business classes and straight psychology classes and what have you. It's a little different with music because music is a systematic structure built on ability, right? You have to start at one level, build until you come to your culminating activity, which is a recital or a thesis paper. And so I'm excited for the young lady who was able to do all of those things, like really just go in, because that puts her ahead of the game. We've already talked about financial gain. She's ahead of that. God knows in heaven, I'm tired of Uncle Sam and Aunt Sally Mae calling my phone. But, but that's where we are. She's ahead of that game, that one. And so I'm excited. You know, it's a good thing. We can always look at one of the concerns that, let's say, if she was a music had an interest in music, going early college, you know, and dual enrollment, that would pull her out of those type of elective classes because she would use the last two classes of her schedule if they were on a 4x4 block schedule to go into transition to the college campus where she would take her college elective classes instead of the high school elective classes. So being a music professor, it would be for me, it would be like, okay, let's see where you are. We would have to put her in classes that would be that don't have prerequisite to it for her to, you know, continue to participate in the music program. Say if she wants to sing in choir or play in the, you know, the symphonic orchestra or something like that. So also, so you know, congratulations to, you know, the young people who are able to do that. I encourage folk do enrollment. You know, AP honors classes are great, but like, you know, Mrs. Walker said, if they haven't achieved a certain score, the college won't recognize the actual course as a credit, and so they'll be behind the 8 ball trying to catch up with the classes or with the coursework and the materials, you know, at the collegiate level, because you know we most of our college professors, you know, have not taught, you know, middle school or high school or elementary in a very, very long time. And so, you know, they have no interest in, oh, the student, you know, took honors biology. That's great. You know, well, I have 3 PhDs in, you know, environmental science. What does that have to do with the tea in China? I don't, you know, Professor, I don't care about all of that. That's nice, but you still got to take this biology 101 for non-science majors, because there's no equivalent unless you get that score. That's all.
Sure.
That's my whole spiel, you know.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. We're going to take one more quick commercial break, and then we're going to let Mr. Williams pop in here and talk about his journey as a college student as well. But we're going to take one more commercial break. Again, invite someone to tune in with us while we're on this pause. You are tuned in to Live with Reverend Bruce Jr., and tonight's topic is back to school. Make sure you tune in every Thursday night at 8 p.m. It's going to be a different topic every week, streaming Lord, I got to fix that. Streaming exclusively on YouTube. Search for Reverend Bruce Jr. Subscribe today. So subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification button so you'll know whenever we go live. But let me go back to this because that streaming has me screaming. All right. So our commercial break for tonight. This is why you need proofreaders as friends. Proofreaders. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a good one.
From the valley of kindness, and why
All right, so that was a quick little snippet. Mr. Williams is going to talk to us about his college experience. I'm going to put up his picture since we can't see him. Give me just 1 second. Let me kind of explain what was just happening. So, of course, we all know COVID hit and life changed. I mean, life just changed drastically. So, 2 weeks prior to that video being created, we got an email from our superiors saying that we were still going to have to do adjudication. And we're like, say what? Like, we're in COVID. There's no live singing. And they sent back to us, no, you're going to have to do it virtually. None of us had ever done a virtual choir performance, anything. So I had to quickly, when I say quickly, figure out how to put that video together. So I thank God for good friends who was able to um, walk me through it. So that was the aftermath. So I know it wasn't the best performance, but it was what we had to work with in the little time that we had. And all of those students are now graduates. And I'm so proud of what they're doing. One of them, she just graduated. She was the tenor on the video. She's headed to Troy University. So I'm proud of her. But this is Mr. Williams. So Mr. Williams, talk to us while I got your picture up on the screen.
Hi, everyone. To those who don't know me, my name is Javaris. Currently, I am enrolled at Lawson State Community College, and I identify as a sophomore, but my degree will be in an associate in early childhood development. Early childhood education. My journey to get there did not start with me going to school for education. I originally went to school for psychology, but when I first started, I actually graduated high school from Restoration Academy here in Fairfield, and I went to Jeff State for psychology. It was cool for my first experience in college, but didn't really feel a sense of community. I didn't really feel a sense of like I'm really just here just to be here. I didn't really like that. So my grades were a reflection of that. So I did decide to leave from Jeff and just start working full time. And then I ultimately decided that I wanted to go back to school because I felt like it was something that was pushing me back to go into education or just to go back and like get my degree. So I decided to pursue a degree in education. And it's been a long road due to scheduling conflicts, work conflicts, adulting, COVID, things of that nature. But I am looking to graduate soon in Jesus' name, but soon. Um, and hopefully pursue a bachelor's in early childhood education as well. But that's just a little bit of my history. So.
Y'all, Javaris and I have been friends how long now? Well, I was about to turn 7. Were we friends before I started the choir? Or was it after WOW?
No, right around the same time.
Okay,
A little
so
bit before WOW
almost,
started.
okay. So then 7 years now because, wow, time has flown. So
Yes.
Javaris has not been one of my students at Lawson, although I'm trying to convince him to join the choir, but he just won't do it. Y'all pray for him. Pray for his strength in the Lord. But so in this walk, because I've seen you perform with the choir at Lawson during the time that you were a member of the choir. And so seeing, because that was prior to COVID, so how did COVID affect you as a student in college?
I have always said that I am not one for online classes. I feel like I have to be in the classroom setting to actually really take in what I'm supposed to learn. COVID said I'm not gonna do that. So when everything switched to online and I was at home, sure it was good because it's like, okay, I'm in my own space. I feel comfortable enough to actually like just be myself. But I was still missing the element of being around other people, and I don't know, I guess socially the environment at Lawson is like each other. So if I wasn't getting it, I could actually go to a peer that I would have never talked to before. It's like, you're not getting it, I'm not getting it. Okay, let's figure out how we can get it together. So I think that aspect is what I was missing due to COVID, personally.
And see, I'm a social teacher. Like most people who have taken my class in person, and even those who have taken my class virtually, can tell you my classes are lit. We have an amazing, amazing time. That online crowd, they miss out. They miss out on all things that are Hendo. Because there's only so much I can give you just typing through emails and Google Voice numbers, but it's like that in classroom experience is something that's unparalleled for me, especially at Lawson, because all of our students come from various backgrounds and walks of life. Yet, when they sit down in those classrooms, they just mesh. They come together. Um, and so I know Miss Walker, you can speak to this because you give me your title again. I want to make sure I don't want to
I'm an inclusion teacher or a special
inclusion teacher. Okay. And so that's the one thing when I did take educational courses throughout my college career, we're moving to that word inclusion. Um, and it's not, for me, it's not just within special education, because teachers should be inclusive to whomever is in their classroom, regardless of race, regardless of gender identity, sexual orientation, all of that plays a part into the melting pot of the classroom. I'm gonna take your picture down, Javon, so I don't keep embarrassing you. All of that plays a part into the classroom experience. My choir teacher, I was blessed to have the same choir teacher from 6th grade through 12th grade. And one thing that she told me when I was getting ready to go into my very first classroom, she told me, God is going to put in your classroom exactly who needs to be in your classroom. And she said that because I was student teaching with her. Thank God I have all of these wonderful experiences with her. And there was a young man in the choir that was tone deaf. You hear me? Tone deaf in the choir. But not just the regular choir. He was in the elite ensemble at the school. And I was asking her, how in the world are you allowing this to happen? And that's what she said to me. She says, God will put certain people in your life and in your classroom that you know you're assigned to. And her telling me that has changed my entire outlook. Um, I would have been one of those teachers that if you gave me problems, I was going to the counselor to get your schedule changed. Because I'm not going to put up with you for the next 179 days left that we have in school. Day one, I'm looking, trying to see, okay, you're not going to make my life hard. But reflecting on what she told me, I learned to accept the challenge of the students who didn't want to be in choir. I learned to accept the challenge of students who music was not their thing. And I guarantee you, most people who entered into my classroom with hatred and fear, left with love, and they're some of my biggest ride or dies today. That's the power of education. So I'm encouraging all teachers that are watching this and teachers that may watch this later on down the road. Even if you don't believe in God, believe that everything is destined and purposed into your classroom. Take the challenge, mold the minds that are in your room. Because again, I think as Dr. Ford stated earlier, and I'm going to paraphrase, we are the experts in the field in our classroom. Especially if you're in secondary and lower level education, they don't know what you know. So you mold that mind to be a student. My voice professor had a sign on her door that said, "Enter with a teachable spirit." We have some students that come into our classrooms that don't have a teachable spirit. They don't come to school to learn. They come to school to hang out. They come to school, hear this, to get away from life. Some students have a hardship at the place that it's supposed to be home. And school is their breakaway from trauma. School is their breakaway from poverty. School is their breakaway from the stresses of life that they should not have at such a young age. So when you find that student that's acting out and that's troubled, that is a cry for help. And they are in your class for a reason and for this season. I didn't mean to preach to y'all tonight. Let me take off my preacher hat. Would anybody like to expound upon that? Anybody on the panel tonight?
I love what you just said. It speaks to I'll just tell you about my year last year. My year last year was probably the toughest year I've had in education. In my 10 plus years. Um, I had 22 students on my caseload going in, and then it kind of built to around 25. Of those 25, I had 9 kids that had behavior plans. And these were students in the 8th grade with legitimate behavior plans. I had one student who would look you in your face and just as respectful as can be would say, Miss Walker, I ain't fixing to do that. And it wasn't cajoling that you can do. It wasn't means kind, whatever you wanted to call it. If he just made up in his mind that day that he didn't come to learn, then he wasn't going to learn anything. Because his home environment that he came from was not his safe place. He came to school to get away. There was no parental support that we had, and if we called home, he'll say, "I don't know what you're calling for. She's not coming." Um, it was that environment and that he came from, and it was that situation where I had to keep an open heart and an open mind, and know that this baby needs me, because the love that he and the attention that he needs, and all of these things, those Maslow's um, hierarchy of needs,
Right.
not being met at his house. He was coming to school looking for those, and as educators, when we have those kids in our classroom, we have to put aside, I'm an educator, I'm there to teach you, but those kids, you have to kind of put that aside, because there are so many other things that they are in need of, and they require. And so in those relationships that you establish with those kind of kids, it really hits home, um, why this area of this profession is such a calling, um, because we are in those kids' lives for a purpose. in a reason, and we have to know that in order to get through to them, and in order to get them to believe within themselves that no matter where they come from, no matter the four walls that they look at when they go home, that hopefully they understand that there is a brighter future for them one day if they can just look past what they see. And so last year was a hard year. But what I took from that was the belief that we are here for a purpose and a reason. And it may just be um, for those students who don't have a purpose or a reason, and are looking for something or someone to give it to them. So, yes, I love that.
I love that. How long have y'all been back in school for this current year?
The kids started back on Tuesday this week. So we started as the teachers came back last Wednesday, but the kids started Tuesday of this week. So this has just been their third day
Okay.
in school.
Okay. Lucinda, how long have y'all started back yet, or when do y'all go back?
No, we have not. The teachers officially go back on Monday, and the students will come back the following Monday. But
Okay.
just to piggyback a little bit off of what Miss Walker was saying, just in this profession, you learn how to be a lot more empathetic. Um, and a lot of times, your job does kind of it crosses that path a little bit of just straight and narrow. I'm just your teacher to I know I have to be a little bit something more. And I think one thing that stuck out to me throughout these years, and quite a few of my students I've kept in contact with. I have some who've gone on to master's degrees. I have one who is now being looked at for pro football, and he wants me to come to his last couple little games. And I'm like, hey, I'm there. But with this class that I've had, and it's funny because their nickname was the Kindergarten Mafia throughout the school. So it tells you the behaviors that those students have had. I've looped with them now since sixth grade, since they've been in middle school. And what they told me last year, they said, you know what, Miss Sorrell, you never left us. And I said, and I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to get in your butt when you are wrong, but when you are right, I am there to stick up for you. When you need something else, I'm there. You need to talk, I'm here. So it does cross that line a lot because they don't, unfortunately, have that at home. A lot of times they don't. They have little siblings that they have to take care of, and they have to be the adult when they get home. Or sometimes they're not eating. We've had to bring snacks and book bags, shoes, so many other things, and just know that sometimes you need to be that safe space for them when they're not getting that safe space at home. So it just forces you just to be so much more empathetic and think about, think about how fortunate you are and how much of an impact that you are making on someone else's life every day.
So I know you said something, and I tell my students that all the time, that the moment you become my student, you have me in your corner until either I die or you kick me out. But until that moment happens, I'm in your corner forever. My first year of teaching, I actually had an office inside of my classroom, and I had the mini refrigerator, the microwave, but I had crates in the corner. And so, like, every morning for breakfast, the things that students wasted, they would grab like the cereals and stuff, but would never open them. The milks, I would get them and put them in my room because there was going to be some students who got to school late who didn't get to eat breakfast, and they knew they could come to Hendo's office. One girl was pregnant; she was coming, Hendo, we hungry. I said, well, y'all go in there and get something to eat. Those were those moments that the students knew this man really cares. He really goes above and beyond to do what needs to be done. So speaking of care, we're going to take one more commercial break, then we're going to come back and close this out because it's a school night. We're going to close this out, but this video was made right when COVID hit. We went viral because we were all confused. We didn't know what was going on. And we knew, as I stated, that some students were about to be locked down at a home that was not a home. And so that was my biggest fear. And I'm so glad my school district that I was teaching in at the time took a heart to the students. They mandated that we called and did a check-in every week. And so there were some students that they were on my list several times because I called every day. Because I knew they had shared with me certain things. And I'm like, okay, home is not their greatest place. They weren't in danger, but they had to grow up too fast. And so this video, we came together, the choir teachers of my district came together and made this video. And so you may have seen this, you may have not, but enjoy it again.
Hello everyone. This is a little presentation from the choral directors of the Birmingham City School System. We hope this encourages you and gives you hope for these times that we're going through right now.
There's a man standing on the corner. He has no home. He has no food, and his blue skies are gone. Yes, it is. Can you hear him crying out?
And there's a girl searching for a father and a friend, praying that the storm someday will end. But instead of walking away, open up your heart and say, I am here. You don't have to worry. I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
This.
Oh, there's a child who was sick and begging to be free, but there is no cure for his disease. He looks up to his mother as she holds his hand, praying that someday the sun will shine again and the pain will end. I am here. You don't have to worry. I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me.
Tell me, how can I love Jesus when I never seen his face? Yeah, I see you dying, and I turn and walk away.
So hold my hand.
Let me take you to a friend of mine. He's waiting just to ease your troubled mind.
Yeah, he loves you more than you'll ever know.
Instead of walking away, open up your hearts and say, I am here. You don't is my shoulder, you can lean on me.
We love our BCS students. This is dedicated to all of you. Hallelujah. Ooh, I get chills. Like, that video gives me chills because you could feel the love that we had singing through that video. Like, some people just sing and just do certain things, but each and every last one of us, we were in such a place where, I mean, and y'all putting that video together. So the app was Smule. I don't even know if that app is still around or whatnot. And just going through, because you were supposed to record your part, then sing on top of whatever somebody else was doing. And Lord, we had the hardest time trying to put that thing together. People was missing parts, so you had to go back in and re-record certain things. And so Bobby Stringer, who is the father of the group, you can't get Bobby to sing for nothing in the world. Now his choirs are phenomenal, but just getting Bobby to sing. So we let Bobby do the narration at the beginning. One Christmas, quick story, Bobby was supposed to do Baby It's Cold Outside. Him and this other girl was supposed to do a duet. So we was all excited because we was like, "Ooh, Bobby about to sing, Bobby about to sing." Why Bobby got up there and James Fortune the whole song? We was weak. He's like, the girl's like, "Gotta go away. Baby, it's cold outside." We was like, "Bobby!" All right, but yeah, so that's the love that educators should have for their students, to do whatever it takes to make sure that the students are safe, know that they are loved. Um, like I've been going from my school for 2 years now, going into my second year on the collegiate level, and I still have students that send me messages like, "Dude, you got to come back." Like, "You left too soon." Like, and that makes me feel good to know that I made an impact during the time that I shared in secondary. And let me pause because I did not. Jamon said, "I remember that video." Miss Watley was my choir teacher from Winona. Let me shout out all of them real quick before I say what I'm going to say. So that was Bobby Stringer from Carver High School, Arca McCauley from Huffman High School, Tracy Hooper from Jackson Olin High School, Zachary Banks from Ramsey IB High School. That was Ashley Hurst from Parker, A.H. Parker High School. Then you also had, who else was on that video? I called 5 names so far. There should be 7. Me, I was at Woodlawn. Who am I missing? Lord, if I left you out, I'm so sorry. Oh, and last but not least, Joycelyn Watley, who just recently retired from Winona High School. So big shout out to Joycelyn for making it to retirement. But I don't think I introduced myself at all and told y'all what I do. I just assumed that everybody knew. But I am Bruce Henderson. I am the music instructor and choral director for the Lawson State Community College. You know, when you work and go to an HBCU, you have to put "the" in front of it, right? So I am at the Lawson State Community College, going into my second year. So I'm excited about what's about to happen at Lawson State. Go Cougars! Go Cougars. I remember we had Cougar Fest last weekend, and I was telling somebody, "Yeah, I gotta go to work. We're having Cougar Fest," and they looked at me like, "What?" Cougar Fest, because they didn't know that the cougar was our mascot. So they thought it was some big event for older women looking for a younger man. No, that's not the Cougar Fest. No, no, no. That's a different type of fest, but not at Lawson State Community College. For those of you who don't know me, I am a huge jokester. So y'all pray my strength in the Lord, please. We're going to have last parting words from everyone. Before we get ready to close out. All right, so we will start with Dr. Ford.
Oh, excuse me. Good evening, everyone, again. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show with Reverend Bruce and the wonderful panel of guests. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed the dialogue we had about the academic profession, the impact that we are looking to make at all levels, whether you are primary, secondary, or post-secondary, teacher, scholar, educator, and looking forward to hearing more good things about how our students are progressing through their academic careers, and doing it in such a good way where they are coming out ahead of the game, as they say. So thank you again from Atlanta. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Sister Walker, you're up next on my screen.
Yes, thank you for inviting me to come on the panel. When when you reached out, I was like, oh my goodness, I am not a speaker, a public speaker. It gets my anxiety up. But I have enjoyed myself, and I thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak my thoughts on your panel today. And I have really enjoyed hearing from the other panelists and the other your former students on in their journeys into this thing we call education. Um, I hope they find exactly what they need from this profession, because it is one of the greatest professions in the world. Um, so thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Sister Lucinda.
I also would like to thank you for having me on tonight. Thank you to the other panelists for listening and sharing your thoughts. It has been very good to hear from other educators. Um, just to all the teachers out there, know that you are making a difference. I know it can get tough sometimes, but you are making an impact with our students. And for all of the students out there, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Be who you are, be who you were made to be. Take your time in this race. You will finish out strong. Just continue to push forward.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
All right, Bruce, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come on your panel. I want to thank the panelists for sharing your wisdom on someone like me who is venturing out into getting into this field. I've learned so much tonight, and it's my hope that I continue to strive to be as the best I can be. And again, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Especially to all of you who were last minute guests that I text at the very last minute. I think Lucinda got the latest invitation. She was in choir rehearsal and she said, "We just got out early." And I sent her the link. I said, "Jump on this call for me, please." I do want to send special, and we're going to pray for this school year, but I do want to send special prayer for the White family, the Pinson Valley High School, his basketball team, and the entire community at large. They lost a student on today. And so our hearts and our prayers go out to that entire family and that community on today. And as I was scrolling through trying to make sure I had everything that I needed, um, I wanted to remind college students, especially if you're first time college student, when you look at your class schedule, you're going to see an M that stands for Monday, a T that stands for Tuesday, a W that stands for Wednesday, and an F that you know stands for Friday. But Thursday is represented by an R. I've never known why. If there's anyone on the panel tonight that they can explain to me why they chose R for Thursday. I know they don't want to do T because you know that would confuse some people, but that R was just a little weird to me. So college students, if you see an R on your schedule, that means that you do go to that class, but that day is on Thursday. All right. So I just wanted to put that out there for anyone going back to school that doesn't quite know what the R stands for on your schedule. And then there are some unofficial rules to colleges. Most of you know that if your professor does not have a doctor, you give them 10 minutes to show up to class, and then after that, you sign a roll and you're back. I'm just playing. Then if they do have their doctorate, you're supposed to give them 15 minutes, and then if they're not there, you sign a roll and holla. Anybody remember that rule? Anybody remember that unofficial college rule? I shared a post the other day that what did your HBCU afford you to know that you currently still do? And for me, Stillman, we were not allowed to walk on the grass. If you got caught walking on the grass, that was social probation for you. And so to this day, I still don't walk on the grass because anytime I get near grass, in my mind, I hear social probation, social probation. And so I try to avoid grass at all costs if I can avoid it. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to my wonderful panelists again. You all have been amazing. Rachel C said that was her favorite college rule. I bet it was. I have some stories for days. If we had time, I would tell y'all, especially about my narcoleptic English professor who would fall asleep writing at the board. And so we were in a class of 40. So each time he fell asleep, 3 people would dart out until finally it would just, because I was that goody good kid, I would never sneak out. And so it would just be me and 2 other people by the end of class. And he'll wake up the last time and go, class is shrinking. But yeah, so we had a fun time in college. If you would like to be a blessing to the work that we're doing, as you can see, we've made some upgrades. I have a professional microphone now. I have a desk that I just built right before the show took place. I have an on-air sign. Yeah, I know we're trying to be a little bougie. Our sign here says, pray more, worry less. So we're going to kind of build these things up. I'm going to put some things on the wall back here. So if you would like to be a blessing to the Live with Reverend Bruce Jr. show, you can give on Cash App at $Mr. Hendo. And then I would also like to be a blessing to my panelists as well. So anything that you give will be used to help further the ministry work of Live with Reverend Bruce Jr. As always, I close out every show with a video. And so since tonight is back to school night, I'm going to end with this college choir, the greatest college choir that I was a part of, the Stillman College Choir. Shout out to Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, singing an arrangement of Dr. Margaret DeRose, Give Me a Clean Heart. This arrangement was actually commissioned by our president at the time, and no other college choir has sung this arrangement until 2023, when I'm bringing it back for my current college choir. So please enjoy Give Me a Clean Heart. And we will see you guys next Thursday at 8 p.m. I will drop the new topic on Monday. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Because again, we are no longer going live on Facebook.
I'm not asking for the riches of the land. I'm not asking for high men to know my name. Please give me, Lord, a clean heart that I may follow thee. Give me a clean heart, a clean heart that I may follow thee. Give me a clean heart, so I may serve thee. Lord, fix my heart so that I
Let's bow our heads. Gracious Father, we thank you for this time tonight as we discussed going back to school. Now, God, I pray for every administrator, every educator, every staff member, God, every student, every parent, every guardian, God, everyone that is connected to the furthering of educating, God, our minds, God, from preschool to the doctoral level, God, seminary to trade school. God, I pray that this is the best year that everyone can experience. God, we face challenges through COVID. God, we face challenges through short staffing. God, we even face challenges through economic and poverty levels. But God, I pray, God, for increase across the board for everyone. God, let there be no lack, no division. God, we pray for safety this year. God, we bind up the hand of the enemy in massive school shootings, in natural disasters. God, we bind up the hand of the enemy that will come in to influence our students, God, with drugs, with violence, with peer pressure, um, gang related activity. God, we plead the blood of Jesus now. God, cover every administrator, God. Give them innovative ideas, God, that will not only be beneficial to students, but God, to be beneficial to the faculty and the staff of every institution. God, don't let us get tired. Don't let us burn out. God, don't let us lose our zeal, God, for education. Remind us why we do what we do. Remind us of the calling that you have placed on each and every one of us. God, help us to arise to a sense of duty and purpose, God, as we fulfill the callings in our lives. Now, God, I pray for every parent, every guardian, God, every sibling, every grandparent, every aunt, every uncle, every cousin that's going to have a hand in the process of the education, God, of our students. I pray right now that you grant them the resources to have a quality education, God. I pray right now that transportation will not be an issue for our students. God, I pray that finances are regulated in the home so that students don't have to choose work over education. God, I pray right now, God, that you will be the source of every resource in our lives. God, I thank you right now for academic excellence. God, improvement across the board. Failing schools, God, shall rise and come off of these lists, God, that are used to measure every school, God. I pray right now for communities to rally and support behind their schools. Every elected official, God, I pray will have a sense of urgency to make sure that our children are successful, that our children are academically excelling. God, I pray over every athlete right now. God, give them the mind, God, to be dual citizens, God, in the school, not only just gifted on the court or the field, but God, gifted in the classroom as well. I pray for the children, God, that don't feel like they are important, God, that they aren't as good as other children, God. Give them a sense of community. God, give them a sense of place and a sense of being in the classroom. God, I pray right now for every outcast, God, that feels like that they have nothing left, God, the ones that want to drop out, God, give them fire, God, to continue to go forth. God, I pray for every college student right now, even the ones, God, that are starting college, God, give them a boldness, God, to do what they need to do to stay in college. Don't let them flunk out, God. Don't let them party themselves out. God, I pray right now for the student that has gone a little bit longer than what they expected, God. God, I pray that you will give them the strength and the endurance to run on, God, to cross that finish line of commencement. Now, God, I pray right now that as we prepare to end this broadcast, God, that you will be with each and every one of us. Thank you for every panelist on tonight. Thank you for every viewer. God, I pray that you will send a special blessing into every home, God, that was represented on this broadcast on tonight. When it's all said and done, we'll be careful to give your name the glory, the praise, and the honor. And God, I just want to thank you for giving me this platform, giving me this opportunity to be your vessel, God, to spread the word of encouragement and love and peace across the airways through this medium of YouTube. We praise you, we glorify you, and we honor you. It's in the strong and powerful name of Jesus the Christ we do pray. Let every heart say amen. Fun fact about me, I really do not like praying in public, so y'all just got a good one out of me. Woo! Glory be to the Father. All right, we're going to end this broadcast with our ending credits. We love you guys, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
David said in Psalm 34, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Come on, you know the scripture. Lift it up, say it. No matter what you're going through, get a praise down in your soul. Come on, let's rejoice together. Say, Jesus, I'll bless and praise your name. How long will we do it, warriors? Come on, let's say it one more time.